We're going to go ahead and do a reading specifically for twin flames, for the divine feminine, for the divine masculine, to see what is going on. We're still in some geomagnetic storms over the past couple of days, so we're kind of feeling these energies very, very strongly. But let's go ahead and start with the reading and just kind of see what's going on, what you're healing, and what you're working through during this time specifically for this reading. Now, I'm going to remind you to only take what resonates for your specific situation. That's why I always encourage you to do the one-on-one sessions with me. I have lots of twin flame readings and twin flame coaching on my website to help you through your specific process that's kind of coming up too. So just take what resonates for your situation out of this reading. Is why I do encourage you to do the one-on-one sessions. I am an energy healer. I have tons of healings, clearings, and activations on my website. That's what I do too. So make sure if you need me, you're booking me on my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. That'll really, really help you with your spiritual awakening process, your ascension process, and of course your twin flame journey. But let's see what is kind of coming up for both of you today. I want to get a good read on what's going on. Okay. So we're going to do a couple piles of cards and kind of see what's going on your side and on your twin flame side. Let's see what they're thinking and what's going on in your head too. Now we're in some very powerful energies still. Even though the 11-11 portals yesterday, we're still very much moving through and integrating those energies. This is really good for twin flames. That means that we're still in a powerful manifestation space. We always are anyways, but these energies really add to it, and they're meant to be helping you to clear things, to heal things, or, you know, whatever's kind of going on within this. And we'll get a good read what's happening for you today too, like I said. Okay, so we have the first card coming up, root chakra healing. Some of the issues that we've dealt with our entire life are very, very deep root chakra stuff, okay? And we like to think, you know, with it's like a new situation, the old stuff can come back up. If it's unhealed, it's going to continue to over the course of your life. If you pull back and look at your life like big picture, you're going to notice certain themes have been coming up and you're working on the same themes across your lifetime. This is why it's really, really important that you're really, really knowing yourself, understanding yourself, and kind of seeing the big picture of some of your own patterns, lessons, and things that you've attracted into your life so that you can fully heal and to shift out of certain things that have been playing out. Your twin flame may accelerate some of the healing that's coming up. They may trigger old baggage to the surface, or it just kind of depends on what's going on. So we do have the root chakra first card being highlighted with this. Doesn't surprise me because we're needing to go deeper within the healing. Any ways that you're still holding on to in your energy field or even consciousness, scarcity, insecurity, this is lack of faith, and things kind of coming up on that level. And this is huge because sometimes we have a lot of lack scarcity programming and don't even realize it, especially when it comes to energy, how we move our energy and how we show up energetically. Okay, we are being guided like never before on planet Earth to really, really heal how we connect with people. Think about all of the people that you have crossed paths with over the course of your lifetime. It's probably a bunch. So we're being guided to connect in a healthier way so that we can really get what we're meant to out of the soul contracts that we are moving through or continuing to move through, because we're going to continue to move through soul contracts with people. These soul contracts play out in many forms. It could literally be family, friend, coworker, employer, right? Like I could go on and on with this list. And we don't just find these people in this one lifetime. We've been working on some of these connections across many lifetimes. Your soul tends to find the same people to learn with, and this also applies for, this is a twin flame reading obviously too. Now if you are holding on to some of these things, which we all are, and we're all working on still. So we're still working on healing certain things that we picked up from the 3D. I call it the old programming, the 3D programming, the old programming, and things that you picked up even in childhood, family line, previous relationships, the collective, the planetary grids, things like that. We're holding on to some of these things. If we're holding on to some of these things, our twin flame can trigger them to the surface. Now, I feel that your twin flame, as all relationships, are meant to be a mirror to help you. And if you use that mirroring quality or that mirror correctly with any of your relationships, it's meant to help you to become a better person. Now, sometimes it does that by showing you things you need to heal or work on or let go of. And it could be like through things that your twin flame tells you, says to you, things being triggered to the surface within yourself, things you're noticing, whatever it is. The universe is really, really good at helping us through this process too. And that's a big part of the twin flame connection too, that we need to remember that the universe is always guiding us on our journey, especially in the twin flame journey. You're probably picking up on that guidance very, very strongly, because as you are healing, releasing an old pattern, letting go of an old karmic imprint, letting go of a negative habit or belief, your energy is changing and shifting in a good way. Twin flames made a contract to come meet in this lifetime so that you could do this work together. You knew that some of this work was going to be together with your person, and there were going to be spaces solo that you would be kind of working on yourself. For anyone going through that solo space or separation, you're meant to really, really be working on yourself. And that's also the space before you come into full union, okay? And then of course, union, a lot of people think that work is done. You got to keep doing the work. You're gonna, right? You're still gonna go through this process, but it will get easier once you reach that kind of space, we'll say. So there's still some root chakra issues coming up. It's like ways you don't fully feel, and it could be confidence from, previous situations, connections, whatever it is. Ways you don't feel great still within yourself, that you still know you're kind of working on. And when we know, that's conscious awareness. Sometimes we don't know when that's unconscious. And this is why we're coupled up to learn with people. Your twin flame is also going to help you with this process. Like I said, they might point out things, or they might reflect things, or you might just be feeling things within yourself for like some of these things that are coming up too. This is any way that you're still holding on to, I call it hidden insecurity. This person may have triggered some of that already through the process. Obviously, that's a lot of what we deal with on the twin flame process. Or even scarcity, which is lack. Okay, what is scarcity about? It's usually like energetic, money, resources. There is never any lack. That's old programming that we have to shift out of so that we can truly tap into a state of 5D abundance, and but also energetic abundance, like being in that higher frequency too. So there's still some root chakra issues that are coming up that you're still struggling with. This is common too. I'll put this out there if it resonates if you resonate with being a light worker, a healer, an empath, a starseed, having a spiritual awakening. This is very common, that a lot of times starseeds and light workers and like people in that very spiritual aura or energy tend to have more root chakra issues that come up, or blocks. And so sometimes this could be from previous trauma, taking on a heavy karmic load. Welcome to Earth 2025, right? Okay, taking on a lot of karma. It could just be the imprints that you're carrying. Now, the thing is with energy is sometimes we're carrying imprints that are not our own. They come from our ancestral line, but they're very, I say embedded, they're very embedded within our own energy field. We're carrying them, they're part of us. And sometimes we don't know that. You're not going to know, like, my great-great-grandmother struggled with this, and I'm kind of carrying that around still. And so this is why I find energy healing, obviously, to be so, so beneficial, because it can help us, obviously, on the energy level to release old imprints. Now, we're very conscious of some, like, yeah, I had a bad relationship, back here, obviously you're carrying karmic imprints from that. I'm aware of that. That's conscious awareness. We're also carrying so much unconscious. Like, we're probably only consciously aware of like 10% of what we've actually been through. And we might even hold like a 90% unconscious level of like patterns and problems that hopefully we're not aware of unless they come up, right? So the problem with holding on to an old imprint, a karmic imprint, is it has to be worked out. So if you're holding a karmic imprint for something, here comes the karmic lessons, right? because it has to be dealt with. This is why energy healing will really, really help to raise your frequency and elevate your energy and to release old karmic imprints. So when I think root chakra, I always think of things like deeper. It could be childhood, yes, but oftentimes it's even deeper into the ancestral line and things that you're clearing. Now, welcome to being a twin flame. If you are a twin flame, you agreed to come to Earth during this time to do this healing work specifically. So your life might have taken a turn when you met your twin flame, and it might be kind of going a little different than everyone else's. You're being guided to do some deep healing work, to come back to love, right? To work towards union, to stay and anchor in these unions is something that helps the planet and the entire collective grids and things like that. So it might look a little bit different, which is okay. Just continuing to work through your process. A lot of people think they meet their twin flame and they're coming right into union, but oftentimes there's a little bit of a messy stage, and you might do that solo or even together, okay? So that messy stage is what I want to get at. And sometimes it's like everything that you're holding on to that you were unconscious of tends to get triggered to the surface because you cannot ascend with some of this baggage. There's a lot of karmic baggage being stirred to the surface. Now, for some of you guys, your twin flame may mirror some of your previous experiences. Now, I'm going to get at this, and I should. Some of you had previous relationships with narcissistic or karmic partners that have really messed you up, and you might be aware of that, or I didn't have a good time back here, but I mean, from where you're at right now today, watching this reading, if this is for you, it might have left blocks in your system. And this is going to tie into my next message. So sometimes when we have gone through a toxic connection in the past, I'm not talking to your twin flame, but it's very relevant, a toxic connection in the past, or, some type of narcissistic dynamic, some type of toxic relationship, or even karmic partners, especially if you've had multiple layered upon, okay? It just depends for your situation. But because of some of these past experiences, it has chipped away at your confidence, your value, your self-worth, and all the things that we need to show up in a healthy relationship. So you may have picked up or even learned, because I feel we learn a lot of behavior, or even learned a lot of kind of toxic patterns yourself in survival mode, because you may have been a little bit more in survival mode because of some of your previous connections. So your twin flame might be triggering some of this old stuff to the surface, or old baggage. I feel that twin flames go through so many phases. I work with so many twin flames, and I've seen so many patterns of it. That's what I like to piece together. And I feel that it will bring up old relationship baggage or things you need to resolve on the relationship level. So you might be carrying some type of karmic baggage still that's kind of coming up. And this is solar plexus work. This is working on your values, self-esteem, confidence, and being empowered and valuing yourself. It's really, really important that you're making healthier decisions, that you're working on releasing old energies in your life, things that are misaligned with where you are now and where you're going, working towards your goals. We'll get to that. And letting go of anything kind of holding you back during this time. The 1111 porthole, even though we've been through that yesterday, is still bringing a huge energy for what we need to release. Okay, so we have observe. Social media. This person might be watching you a lot on social media. Now, I see this happen. You might feel them on your social media. They might say things about your social media. You might feel them on there. You feel their energy. They're watching you from maybe a distance, especially if there's no contact, no communication, or maybe there is contact and communication and you just sense them on your page a lot. They're literally checking your socials. And you might already know that. For some of you already know that. You already sense it. They're always stopping on your page, okay? For some people, they know that. I'm going to do two categories. So for those in separation, you know that. A lot of times you might go through a stage where your twin flame is literally on your stories all the time, or liking your posts, and they're just not communicating because they are that trigger and catalyst to help you to heal certain things. If that's you, because this isn't going to be for everyone. You're working on healing abandonment wounds, rejection, all of that inner child stuff that has led to some of those toxic relationship cycles, and so that you can really, really break out of codependent patterns and unhealthy relationship attachments yourself. Okay, so you're like, if you're apart and you're like no communication, you're purging out energy attachments still, and this is going to help you so much. The more that you heal yourself, you're going to be able to connect in a healthy way. Now, for those of you guys that are together, I see, okay, we'll do two groups for this. One group, and this is like, you're together, you're dating, okay? And one group is like having a problem with your twin flame on your socials too much. They might be like flipping through your followers and pointing it out, or like trying to see who you're talking to, or like stalking your page, okay? And not in a healthy way. And so some of you guys are working through some issues about that involving social media, okay? Some of you guys it's healthy, but you just know, like, you feel their energy on their page. Like you post something and they might not say anything, maybe they do, but maybe they don't say anything, and you sense them, you feel them, okay? Like you feel them on your page all of the time. So there's this like social media element too, because we're navigating relationships in a different way. In 1960, they didn't have social media. So we're also navigating different tech in our time, and I feel, we'll go there, we have a lot of this Aquarius astrology, they call it the age of Aquarius. I feel there's going to be like a lot, we're seeing it already, like a huge tech boom, by the way, okay? So we're also navigating that within our relationships in a different kind of way. So we have this social media element. For some, if there's no communication, no contact, that is very triggering for you. You're like, they've looked at every one of my stories, they have me on unread or read, and if they're on read, why are they reading all my messages and not replying? And for some, it's like you're in union, but there might be some issues that have come up with them being a little too stalkerish on your social media, or you're just kind of sensing it and feeling it, okay? Okay, so we have the absorb, and once again, it's a social media card. Sorry, that's what I said. So pay attention, because you're going to be kind of feeling them and sensing them. I love twin flame because it's a telepathic connection, and you can really, really tell what this person is thinking, doing, what's going on with them. So I tell like my clients that are dealing with these issues, if this has already been an issue for you on your side in the past, if you're the one kind of checking out their socials a little too much, right? This might be an issue for you because you think you're kind of pulling them in, but you're actually pushing them away. And that can be like overwhelming energy, like especially if you're stalking and looking at their page in a negative way, they feel that it's actually repelling energy, or if it's an unhealthy addiction of like trying to check out what they're doing or where they are or who they're with. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you're not like flipping through their followers and being weird about it if that is you. On the other side, it could be your twin flame, right? And you can just like feel that like on your page, right? You might be on the other side of this and you're like feeling them really looking at your stuff all the time, and it's like there's nothing going on here, but they might have an issue with that, like your twin flame being a little too addicted to looking at your socials. Okay, and I love this because you're being guided to work on your own goals right now, and this is what's the game changer in relationships. We're getting out of these unhealthy 3D relationships, which you've all experienced. We talk about this being a big theme right now, clearing those old energies and healing from them. We think we're healed until we have the twin flame come in and we have old stuff come up, right? And you will visit old themes, you will have to, and this is helping clear karmic debris, karmic energies, and things like that. So you're being guided to put a good amount or a fair amount of time into your goals. For those of you guys that are in union, because a lot of you guys are like me, right? You guys are navigating, like doing your own thing, your own goals, your own projects. I would say your own life, right? Like, because we do have separate paths and journeys in life, even though we learn with people and they're like, you know, intertwined with our destinies. We'll get into that after. We still have to do like our own lessons here. It's a little bit like you're in 10th grade, high school, and you know, you're dating, but you got your own lesson plan, okay? So Earth is a little bit like that. You're being guided to really, really put a good amount of energy into what makes you happy. This is like for some entrepreneur, business, jobs, goals, new projects, creative ideas. These things are taken off with the buzz of these energies. Trust me on that. This is a time for the artists and the visionaries and, you know, people who are, you know, doing their own things, creative types, small businesses, entrepreneurs, building something, creating something. These energies are ideal for that. We are in a time or a period of huge manifestation here on here on Earth. And that's part of the new Earth, to create that in your life too. So you might be navigating, like spending time with this person, but not drowning in the connection. And this is like empath messages coming through big time. You might be someone who gets lost in other people, or, you know, you're finding that, you know, you're doing a lot for other people in your relationships and it's all about their expectations. And you feel like you're kind of getting drained, depleted, losing yourself because you are an empath. Both twin flames should be empaths, but sometimes if you're not resonating with that, yes, we can get blocked up here on planet Earth, but you should have been born that way, right? Okay, but we build walls and defenses and things like that. However, it depends how open you are. The more you work on yourself and heal yourself, the more open you're going to be energetically, and you might be more and more sensitive to energy. This is a good thing though, because you can like tell your own energy, you can read energy, you know what's aligned, you know what's not aligned. So you're navigating, or you're being asked to navigate this actual relationship and connection in a different way. You're being guided to get out of the old 3D struggles in relationships, codependent dynamics, and unhealthy energy dynamics too. And you're being guided to like work on, whether it's your career, whatever you're doing outside of this connection that spirit is kind of guiding you towards. For some, this is missions. Twin flames came here to do a huge mission for the planet. I always put this out here, and I'm going to say it again because my Facebook group hit 800,000 people like yesterday, and I do that with my twin flame, and it's actually really nice to like do a project together, by the way. Okay, so it could be something like that where you're being guided to do some type of service work, helping people. Now, I feel that you'll probably have your own solo projects and mission, but you know, your twin flame might fit right into that. They might vibrate right into that. They might have good ideas. They might tell you things that take you to the next level. You know, it just kind of depends. I see that happening big time through the Twin Flame Collective, talking to people where a lot of people are telling me, you know, they know exactly what to do, like with their twin flames business to get them to the next level. Stay open to it though, too. When we're closed off, like we're not getting the most out of each connection, your twin flame is meant to fuel you and to really light a fire and to motivate you to that next level. They're not going to do it for you, okay? You do have to focus on your own healing and soul growth and projects, but you're being guided to like really focus on this area, especially if you're apart from this person. It simply means that you're not ready. I was saying this, and that you have a little bit more solo work to do. Now, I told someone, and I'm going to put this on video, some of you guys are neutralizing karmic energy or hurt or things from previous cycle, and sometimes you may need that time, especially if there's a triggering effect happening, like you're still being triggered. That can indicate needing to go deeper on that healing journey. So no matter what phase you're at of the journey, you're being guided to work on your career, business, success, and to really, you know, level up in that area in some type of way. For some, like if you're needing a job, it's finding a job, finding something that you can do, you can tolerate, aligns with you, whatever it is. So needing to, maybe for some, it's also healing in that area. Like I know some that are a little bit stagnant, like you guys are really successful in business, but it's like a little bit stagnant. Stay open to like new ideas and new projects. Okay, you're being guided to pull back and see the big picture of your life right now and this twin flame situation. Okay. There is some type of way that you're kind of still seeing through your ego or false beliefs. And this is all of the negative programming that we picked up along the way. It started after your first relationship, right? Ooh, love hurts and things like this, or whatever it is. It could be ego expectations and all of the false beliefs that we picked up about love. Actually, love is meant to elevate you. It's meant to bring purpose and, you know, positive energy, help you raise your energy. Sometimes it's not love that we're actually healing from and releasing, because some of your previous connections, everything that you thought was love, it was not love, baby. So you're kind of healing from some of the previous karmic stuff, as I said, coming up, and some of the false beliefs and fears that were left alone. How funny, when we try to get close in love, sometimes it brings up old fears or current fears that we're kind of working through or moving through. That's a big problem, as all of our thoughts are manifesting rapidly during this time. So we have to really shift out of that 3D paradigm of victim consciousness and really check our own thoughts and do our inner work so that we can manifest a healthier, happier union too, right? So if we have a lot of that stuff kind of going on, it can skew how we're seeing our twin flame, ourselves, or even our twin flame situation. Your twin flame may trigger your ego and deeply held old beliefs to the surface so that you can clear them. So if you have like negative thoughts, patterns, defenses, protection mechanism, that all goes hand in hand with the ego and how it kind of steps in to protect us. So you might have some of these themes kind of coming up right now: fear, ego, old beliefs, and that's very connected to the root chakra too, because it's very connected to old fears being stirred up during this time. They're coming up for release. So we're gonna see what's going on with you first, and then with your twin flame, okay? And remember, only take what resonates. That's why I always tell you to do the one-on-one sessions. You know, everyone's gonna go into something different, and to help you, just so many layers coming up with this, okay? And I wanna see what we need to heal first for you in your twin flame side and what they're kind of thinking, okay? And like I said, only take what resonates for your specific situation as I'm doing this. Okay, we're doing you first. And please remember, this whole reading is not going to fit your situation. That's why I say to do the one-on-one sessions, but just take what fits for you. Just know that, okay? Okay, once again, we have that. This is for you. This is your side of what you're healing. Okay, you have maybe a bad habit of wondering what your twin flame is doing, where they are, stressed about that, worried, okay? So this is, this kind of goes hand in hand with a little bit of unhealthy connection patterns still coming up. Some of you guys, it's a little bit deeper, like I said, of like checking out their socials, trying to see where they are, if they posted, you know what I mean? It's like that. And I'm not going to go into that message again because we covered it. You're healing something there, and this could be on the energy level where you're needing to pull back your energy. You're putting way too much focus on negative stuff with the other person. Maybe you're stressed or worried, or, you know, it just kind of depends. Being guided to pull back your energy so that it's not repelling your twin flame. And we're going to talk about that too, that push-pull dynamic that twin flames have, because this is coming up for you. Perhaps you have a push-pull quality to you, or it could just be the twin flame journey has that coming up for you, because this is stuff you need to first look at and to heal with you, this person watching the video, okay? So there might be some type of energetic imbalance still coming up. There might be some type of like, has it turned into a control drama or power struggle, or have there been issues come up? Have you or this person been a little hot or cold? And generally I find that's like you're getting close and the fear pushes away, okay? So it is a fear-based energy or a repelling energy. Like maybe you pull this person in and you might be pushing them away. Do you spend time worried about or stressed out about this connection? I mean, in an honest way. Do you have some type of stuff you need to still heal? Like I always help you guys with healing things like your attachment style and things that can wreak havoc on your relationships, right? And so sometimes it is like, you know, healthy connection that can trigger that, right? And stuff like that. And so maybe some type of still push-pull kind of going. Like if you find that your person's like always texting you and then they go cold a minute, hot and cold, right? Or whatever it is, okay? Now this isn't for everyone, but some of you guys need to get your finances in check. Like if you're like not working and you know you should be, you know, that'll bring a really positive effect into your life. For some it's like just make sure that you're not like overspending or overdoing it, and you know you're getting your money in check, because there's this sacral message and energy kind of coming up. Like you might be living beyond your means or living still in that 3D level. I find that when you shift into the 5D, it's amazing because you don't need as much. You're like, right? I was joking around yesterday. I said, I don't want anything from this planet. I'm serious. Okay. And in the 3D, it's all like materialism and like, you know, whatever it is. Okay. And jokes aside, as you do the inner work to really shift into the 5D level, you're going to cultivate a lot more gratitude for what you do have, and hopefully need a lot less, right? Because we talked about those needs as the lack, right? Of like feeling like you need stuff. So this is like, maybe your finances aren't that great, or maybe they are, and like you need to sustain them and kind of just look at that, okay? So there's something going on here with you involving job. Now, maybe some of you guys don't work, that's okay. But for those of you guys that are like out of work, especially, this might be putting pressure on you and the connection. Okay, so something with the relationship might be evolving job stuff on your side. Maybe also if some people, and that's okay, have a codependent pattern of like not working and looking at the partner in a financial way. It's just not healthy, okay? So there's something kind of going on there with sacral energy. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper, obviously, for the rest of the reading. You guys are opposites. Some twin flames, literally, like me and mine, live in different countries. Like, okay, and like it doesn't have to be that dramatic though, but maybe you're very different. Even when we're talking about the masculine and the feminine polarity, you're wired up different and you're very different. Even things like maybe your attachment styles are very different, okay? They're complementary, don't get me wrong, but maybe you're wired up differently. So I'm going to put this out there. And I see a lot of people that are struggling with relationships are actually struggling with their attachment style. So we have different groups. I'm just going to cover the anxious and the avoidant, but we have different, obviously, subcategories of that. But when you're dealing with an anxious attacher, they tend to get a little freaking clingy, okay? And you might fluctuate between both because we all carry the other wounds, okay? We all carry those styles, but you might be a little more heavily at different times based on your surroundings, what's coming up, your relationship. So with the anxious attacher, you fill your cup with other people. A lot of times this becomes the chaser, and a lot of times you're taught like, oh, I'm the more spiritual one, and I don't know what's going on or why they're running from me. And a lot of times you might even have the opposite of like a very avoidant partner who cannot handle that and deal with that. It's actually usually the anxious attacher that is the most healing and energy attachments to deal with, and you guys are not going to like hearing this. So I always try to gauge people. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm fine, I'm great. Look back at your dating history. How healthy was it? Because these soul contracts are meant to teach you a lot about yourself and what you need to heal too. So with the anxious attacher, oftentimes you guys are dealing with, it's not like a disorder, underlying energy attachments that need to be purged out. This is why some of you guys may even experience more distance or separation, or your twin flame putting that distance up there, because you really, really need to learn how to regulate your own energy, heal your nervous system, and to purge out the attachments, okay? And I mean, any unhealthy ones, okay? So anxious attacher fills their cup with other people. You literally feel good when people are giving you reassurance, mostly your partner, giving you reassurance, telling you it's okay, connecting all of the time, right? You don't get tired from it. In fact, it's filling your cup. Think about how you're filling your cup from your twin flame. For this category, because I'm going to do a couple right now, this is like you're making your twin flame your source. It's very, very unhealthy. And even, I'm not going to go into that. Sometimes it can be from like codependent or I don't say narcissistic, other patterns, okay, that are coming up. Because when we draw our energy from other people, it's like the most toxic that we could be. So the solution to this, I always want to give you the solutions, is to heal and to go to source for that energy. That's where we should draw our energy from too. And to be mindful of that too. So if you're in this, like, I see a lot of times people get in the chaser energy and it is frantic, and sometimes I always say a little bit scary. And if you're in that like energy of it, sometimes your twin flame will withdraw, retreat. They will stop talking to you. They may stop communicating, and this is where separation happens. Now, the reason why is because that is the best space for this category to be in, because you're not able to draw so much energy from your twin flame in the connection. You have to really work on getting independent energetically and healthy and healing on your own and connecting with source. We need space and connections. If you're with someone 24 hours a day, both of you guys are like not doing what you should, this is where relationships get very unhealthy. Now we have the other category, which is the avoidant, I call it. Now we have subcategories of that. Sometimes it could be like anxious avoidant, fearful avoidant. And the avoidant person, they feel good on their own. In fact, sometimes when you have too much interaction or too much peopling, it might burn your batteries out. You might get tired. You might feel your cup kind of going down. And so we have two types of attachers, right? So one, we have the anxious attacher, and they're like spending all day with their twin flame, and guess what? Their cup's being filled up. We talked about that. The anxious attacher, after a while, they're getting drained and depleted from the connection because they actually, you know, are okay on their own and pretty independent. Now, these two types tend to draw each other, by the way. This is why we see so much chaos and stuff in these toxic cycles and things like that. It's just like how the empath draws the narcissist. So oftentimes opposites attract. And so for the anxious attacher, you're like the opposite. Like, you guys are not chasing, you just let the relationship go to die. Like, not funny, right? You got to find a balance with it. For the the avoidant attacher, you need to let people in, okay? And something may have happened in childhood where, like, and usually when I see avoidant attachers or some combination of it, you guys may have gone through emotional neglect in childhood and not even know it. You're just used to it, like it's normalized. So it does go down to childhood issues and things like that, where you probably got really, you know, independent and things like that. So you tend to draw what you need to you. Generally, we find some combination of these dating, okay, in some type of way, because we always draw opposites to us to help us to heal. For the avoidant, learning how to, like, you know, let people in, have healthy space, but not too much space, stop distancing in the connection if you can. It just kind of depends, because some of you guys literally will sit there and do distancing techniques, and maybe you're aware of that, maybe not. It's like literally excuses to put more space in the connection. Like, you hung out a couple days, it's like, I gotta work, I gotta go do this, I'm going on my solo trip, I'm going whatever. It's like, okay, letting this person in on some type of level, but in a healthy balance. So we're talking about the yin to the yang, the opposites attract. So this is not your different type, and they're very differently wired up. We're talking about energetic wiring, right? And things like that. You guys also might not see eye to eye in some type of way. You might have different beliefs. Now, that's okay. Someone was asking me, and I'll put this question on video, what do you do when your twin flame has like really different beliefs? And I'm like, you don't try to change them. Are you trying to change someone's mindset and their thoughts? Because when they're talking to you, that's what it is. They have to do that work themselves if they want to. We're getting to this space of like not trying to control people or the dynamic. People, hey, people can believe what they want, right? They got to do that work for themselves. And this is part of the twin flame dynamic too. So they might not see like eye to eye and everything. That's okay. You would not want to date someone that was just like you, right? It would get boring. So they might be a little bit different. Like, it could be programming, how they were raised, where they were raised. It could be like you guys are from very different backgrounds. You might be from different areas, you know, masculine, feminine, but you're the yin to their yang. You find the balance. And whatever it is, whatever your twin flame is showing you, these are actually the wounds that you need to heal most likely. So we all have those sides that we're needing to heal and nurture, believe it or not. Like, I have a lot of people that are like, my twin flame is acting really avoidant. You've manifested this situation because that might be one of your patterns. Okay, now a lot of people can't get that deep yet, but you may hold both of those wounds. That's why we're talking about it, right? So you might flip a little hot and cold. You might flip a little anxious one minute and all over them. The next minute you're a little bit avoidant, or they're reflecting that avoidance pattern to you. So for this reading, for this person watching, you might be healing some of these issues between you and your twin flame. They might be patterns where you hold both sides of that coin. Some of you guys might even be that anxious avoidant, by the way. And mixed signals, fearful avoidant, mixed signals. One minute you're hot and heavy, and the next you're pushing them away, right? So maybe something coming up with the dynamic where you guys are trying to better balance the energies. Okay. This isn't for everyone, but some of you guys are navigating separation energy, and there might have been some type of like thinking it's over, but it's really not actually. Separation is a stage on the way to union. But it's important that you're also doing the work. If you need help, I always recommend doing the twin flame coaching packages on my website. They're going to help you a ton with going into the specific layers that are coming up for you and healing them too. So make sure that if you need it, you're finding me. Okay, you're going through a huge change, and I mean caterpillar to butterfly. And I was describing this time of year like that anyway. Like, Well, maybe some of you guys haven't gone in there yet, but you might be going through a cocoon phase, a hermit phase, needing to really work on yourself, work on your energy, and you're going through a huge transformation. We're going through a huge transformation from now really until January, mid-January of 2026. We're kind of in this ascension cycle where we're going through a lot of DNA activations, upgrades, changes, and this is specific also to twin flames because you're needing to purge out a lot of lower energies that have kind of kept you stuck, holding you back. Dense energies are coming up for clearing, and you might be kind of feeling that. And so you might be kind of in that space with it too. It just kind of depends. There's a beautiful union. Some of you guys know that. You're in it. It's going freaking amazing, right? And some of you guys are working towards it. It doesn't matter how your path looks. Once you've met your twin flame, you're working towards union. But it's also up to both to do that inner work to release negative thoughts and beliefs. So for some, this could lead to marriage, or maybe this is just a representation of that union, okay? Okay, if any of you guys have been married previously, this was practice. I hate to say that. Yeah, for your twin flame, literally, so don't get stuck on the old stuff. We did a lot of talking about that today. This represents a beautiful union. You know this person is the one. A lot of you guys already feel or sense that. Maybe you've been questioning that though, and this is part of your process, okay? So for this person, before I switch to the other side, you might be seeing this person in a karmic light from your previous karmic connections, and you're not meant to. So we talked a lot about like healing the past and old stuff today. Now let's shift to your person. Let's see what's going on with them, what they're healing, and what's kind of going on in their head, I said. So let's start. And this is for the other person on the other side, your twin flame, the one who isn't here, the one who isn't watching. Let's do their side, okay? Some of them have some like major stuff kind of coming up with it. Like this is old patterns that are not healthy. They might still be playing out some type of old energetic patterns or unhealthy patterns on you. Sometimes this is unconscious and they're not that aware of it until you're like pointing it out or it's happening. And you know, they might have just had an unhealthy way of relating in previous connections, and they're trying to bring that into the twin flame union, and it's not happening. Perhaps there's some type of triggering that's coming up for you with this person. They might be triggering things on your side because you know that they're trying to go into this like unhealthy dynamic with you, and you have to hold your boundaries and be like, no, so that this doesn't go into the unhealthy realm, as I call it, right? So there might be something that they're doing that isn't very healthy with you, whether this is testing your boundaries, expecting too much from you, whatever it is on the energy level, okay? And this isn't for everyone. I hate to say this might be appealing because, and not for everyone, but there might be a third party kind of going on. So only take this if you know that if it is a situation. Some of you guys are not fully in union because there's some type of third party situation or karmic situation or outside interference going on. And it's really pushing you then to really have to do that solo work and look within. Like if they have some type of, this could be existing relationship that they're not out of, or even old past relationship that it's done, you know it's done, but they're not fully healed. And that's the funny thing about ours. Sometimes we really need that space to heal ourselves and we don't always get it. So like maybe it's a little messy, like maybe they weren't fully healed from previous relationships or have blocks from previous relationships that they're still trying to do some type of self-work, even though, you know, they're working towards union with you, okay? They might have some type of karmic stuff going on, karmic situation, or even karmic attachment. And so this is, when I did these cards, I asked specifically something that they're healing from still, okay? For some, there's no one around, but it's like, they got some old hurts they're still carrying around that might be blocking union with you still. So they have some type of unfinished business, and that's just karmic energies. And this is like something, okay, so we'll go into that realm. It could still be like things that they're wrapping up in a karmic sense from old stuff or with you. So we see that, and this is for everyone in separation or not fully in union. Things are not over. Like, okay, you got some unfinished business with this person, okay? But there's something that you may need to let go of within the connection if things have kind of come up for them. So they might still kind of have some, we'll say, karmic energies with you of like stuff that they're trying to open up or unblock or heal, okay? This person is very like in a big energy. They might come across as very, very confident, but they're not. Okay, so they have some type of like insecurity over this twin flame union that they're still kind of healing in some type of way. They might come across as very confident and successful in other areas of their life, but you know, when it comes to you, they still have some type of love insecurity that they're working through, okay? Now, once again, this isn't for everyone, because a lot of you guys are going to be like, this is not for me. But some of you guys, there might be, and I always say this a lot on videos because that's reality of Earth. You know, this person might be acting strange or even drinking, and it depends. This won't be for everyone. You're going to kind of know it, obviously. So there might be something like that kind of affecting things. Now, not for everyone, but maybe they're trying to, I see this a lot with the Twin Flame Collective, needing to quit drinking because it really, really does put us on these bad timelines, okay? And obviously showing up as our sober, healthy version of ourselves is going to be a lot better. They might have some type of, I don't want to say secret, but it kind of would be some type of like secret addiction or drinking problem that might be kind of coming up for them on their side, or something they're trying to work on to let go. It just simply could be bad habits and old habits, or old relationship patterns too. So only take what resonates, like I said. This person, they got it bad for you, and you may or may not know that. Like, they spend a lot of time thinking about you, obviously, with Twin Flame. They are connecting with you, you know, energetically, and you probably feel it, you sense it. There's a very strong chemistry and attraction between you, okay? But things may have not gone, you know, ideally or as you wanted, or have fully come through or materialized or manifested yet. That is okay. There's still an ego in a lot of ways when it comes to dealing with you. This could be like they have a hard time letting people in. They might be a little bit secretive. They might, you know, be slow to open up. It's just ego patterns. They might be a little bit in fear, or even the 3D programming. And this can be common with Twin Flames. Like if you're watching my video, that they're, you know, a little bit more, whatever, in the 3D, we'll say. So this is some type of ego block still coming up. And you might see that, like I can always tell when people are talking and they go right to ego, like the attitude, right? And so you might be able to tell that, like if they've given you like kind of an attitude, or like, you know, a switch of how they're acting. It just kind of depends, okay? And we're going to do some overall cards and just kind of see what is going on. Not for everyone, but it really fits the theme today of like some type of, and this is back to you, some type of negative thoughts that might be manifesting into the connection or blocking things. Not for everyone, but some of you guys have been a little bit jealous or manipulative of situations, and that doesn't work with the twin flame dynamic, like to get the results you want, or, you know, to sway things or trying to control things a little too heavy. This won't resonate for everyone, but if you have those kind of issues like insecurity and jealousy, they're going to come up in this connection so that you can continue to work on them. So these might be themes in the background, or that you know internally as part of your shadow work that you're working on. We're in the darker part of the year, so we do more shadow work too. Just be aware of these things, because okay, this is my Destiny card, my favorite card of the deck, the Wheel of Fortune, but it's in reverse. And so this is like, you might feel kind of that there are blocks or external forces that have come between you. And I'll give you a couple examples. It's like meeting your twin flame and you're with someone else. That's a good example. Or, you know, friends coming in the way and like things are going good. And then, you know, they hang out with their friends and things start to go sideways. And this could just be like blocks, delays. Things haven't moved as fast as you wanted. We're in Mercury retrograde. Sorry, nothing will feel like it's moving, right? Because this is a time to go within and to clear our own patterns and to reflect, so that when we do move forward in the next couple of weeks, we can move forward more clear and things like that too. So you might feel that there's been like, it's moving a little slower to union than you liked. Things aren't playing out. And this is my universe card. It's like, you get what you deserve kind of energy. That's how karma is too. So there's a karmic undertone when it is flipped and it's in reverse, because upright is destiny and, you know, everything kind of going amazing. There might be some type of block here with your connection with the universe, your spiritual connection, opening up to trust the universe more with this process. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So once again, your person might be There could be delays that you're facing, but they may be a little bit competitive with you, and you might see that with them, little things that they do or they say. They might have a competitive nature, right? It depends. And that, might have served them in other areas of their life, but it might not be serving the connection. So you might be dealing with that. And of course, we have my final card, which is Four of Cups. And this is letting go of the past and letting go of, negative thoughts, regret, and focusing on the positive. It's time to stay motivated and to clear stagnant energies. It's really important that you're focusing on the present. For some, this is healing and letting go of the past so you can collapse out these timelines, because if you keep revisiting old timelines with the twin flame journey, you're just recycling them. You might be guided to let go of some type of negative thoughts, beliefs that are blocking the connection. If you feel things are stagnant and they're not moving, time to get them moving. That's why I always say do a healing, right? Okay, time to get things flowing. Perhaps you've been seeing things out of this reading kind of in a negative light, and that's okay because you're needing to heal and clear some of this stuff. But it's time to get things flowing. It's time to get motivated about this, and it's time to really bring some healing energies into this union. I'm going to go on that note, but have a beautiful day. If you need me, just go ahead and book me on my website, sparksofdivinelightshealing.com. I have tons of beautiful healings and sessions on there.